Hello, this is Lolly. Welcome back. I want to share with you my August design team project for Kraft-tex Ambassador program. The color of the month is this, and I just think it is so gorgeous. And when I saw this, I just thought it's a lime green. I thought hippie, and I thought of a hippie van, and I decided to make this no-sew tote. And let's get started showing you how you can make one yourself. Okay, so I want to show you the pieces for the pattern that you're going to print out. So this is the first thing. This is the actual pattern or guideline. This is not true to size because I needed to get this all on one PDF. This is the dimensions you would want to cut the white Kraft-tex. 17 inches wide, 22 inches tall. And then you would score on the dotted lines and cut on the solid lines. So let me magnify that a little bit. So you would come in and score down 4 inches and in 4 inches. Come over and score in 9 inches and score in 9 inches from both sides basically. But then 1 inch from this dotted line, 1 inch from that dotted line, only in this center portion here. And then you would cut on these 2 lines all the way to the dotted line, and then cut the one solid line there. So here's what it looks like. This is the way it is on the pattern that you just saw. Now I'm going to see if I can, there we go. This is the way it looks like in the pattern. So these are going to fold up. The sides are going to fold up, and we're going to do that, and then these will fold up, and then it will form the tote this way. Let's see, but what I want to do though is to actually go ahead and to decorate the front. And I want to do this before I actually fold this because it would make it so much easier. Okay, the other portion you're going to need is these two, and these are the printables. Now when you print these two, I advise printing them on cardstock. You don't have to. And I advise, make sure that when you're doing this, these have to be the actual size. These are true to size. So when you print these on your printer, you have to select print actual size. It's in a setting in your printer when you go to print it, because on a PDF, the automatic default is for it to fit to page. You don't want that option. Instead of fit to page, select print actual size. So on the emblem, you're going to cut one of each of these. Turn signal, you're going to cut 2 of these, headlights 2 of those, and then just 1 of each of these and 1 of everything here. This is the bumper here and the little grill. Those I am going to cut in this stone Kraft-tex. This part here in the front I'm going to cut in this lime color, which is called greenery. And I haven't yet figured out, I think the headlights are going to be probably this color here, which is saffron. I haven't figured out, no, not the headlights, I'm sorry, maybe the turn signal. The emblem on the front, haven't yet gotten that figured out. I think the outside will be the gray, inside white, and then I'll do the flower, whatever color I come up with. Headlights, outside gray, inside white. So, just some thoughts as I'm proceeding here. So, but I don't want to cut these actual out yet. What I want to do is cut around them and separate them. And I'm going to leave the written description of what they are on there for now. And then I won't cut that apart until I'm actually ready to do those sections. These are the windows. I'm going to cut those out of the front and then put clear vinyl behind that. These ones I can cut. So what I want to do, I tested this out to see if it would work. I want to leave a border around all of this, as you can see what I've done. So what I'm going to do is turn all these over, and I'm going to use Eileen's Tack It Over and Over so I can make a sticky pattern. I think I can cut some of this off here. It's a little big. So I think the first piece that I'm going to want is going to be this one. And because this is going to determine where everything else gets placed, and a lot of things get placed on top of it. And this is going to be the bottommost section on the front. So what I'm going to do is turn this over, and I'm going to cover gem tack. I can hold this up to the light if I need to so I can see where to put this. I'm going to spread the gem tack around with my finger, and you could use a brush. I'm going to go beyond the lines here. I can hold it up now and then to see if I've reached it where it needs to be. And then I'm going to let that air dry, and it dries tacky. Then I can lay it on my Kraft-tex as a pattern when I go to cut it out. So again, I'm just holding it up to the light now and then. And this is why I'm leaving a border on there, so I can actually get this where I need it to be. So I'm just going to let that dry till it's tacky. Holding it up, make sure I got it covered, and that is good. I'm going to cap this, and I am not going to cover the others until I'm ready to really roll with that. Okay, so this has sat for a while. We went ahead and had dinner, so it's nice and tacky. And then I've just taken I pressed this because it's one of the cool things about fabri-tac, Kraft-tex, is you can press it. I'm going to put this on there, give myself a little bit of room here. And I realize it's not a super stick, but it does help it to stay tacky and give me some room here for working. And I'm going to use clamps as well. And start cutting this out. Now, if you want to make sure that your that this measured out correctly when you printed it, this should be 9 inches from side to side. That stuck pretty good. And there's no residue left here. So what we're going to do is take that, and that is going to get glued right here on the front. And if you notice that it's just a little bit too big, you can always just lightly trim. Or you could take a ruler and a craft blade and slice off what you need. And I'm just going to glue that on there with fabri-tac. Oh, this is going to be so cute. So if you fold these back like this, you can start to see the look of the van there. Okay. So again, this is just a no-sew technique, but you definitely can do this and stitch around the edges to give it an extra cute look. Okay, so using that technique, I am going to cut out this and these two pieces here for the bumper, the grill right here, not the grill, but the bumper and the little things that hold on to it, and that's going to be in that stone color because I figured it was the closest I could get to a metal look. Okay, and I will do that off camera. It's completely dried, and I had cut out the front bumper, which is these three pieces here. So what you want to do with this one, obviously you don't want to go up above that little crease. It needs to be down, but not all the way down. I like some of the green to be showing. So I am just guessing, and let's measure this out. And it is about 1/4 of an inch on both sides, but you'll also notice that this extends beyond the green. So what we're going to do is not glue the ends down, because this tote is going to be folded back on the side. So we're only going to glue what's going to cover on the inside of the green here. Now I want to glue these on, so what I do is I went ahead on the headlights. There's 2 circles. The larger one is for the gray, which is representative metal. That will be the metal, and then there will be a white ring inside of that, and I want that right about here. I'm just eyeballing it. The turn signal is going to go up here, so I'm just trying to see where I can put these, and right about there. So let's measure that now. I'm going to measure from this crease right here 1¼ inches to where, and then that's where this is going to start. 1¼ Let's put that there. This is going to get glued entirely. And then I will glue the other one 1¼ inches to the left of that little juncture. There we go. So now those are about the same distance apart. Okay, very good. Okay, so I'm going to finish cutting out the other headlight. I really only needed to do the green. I wanted to get that placed so that I could get my sense of where the windshields are going to go. Okay, so what I did next was I took the little windshields here, tack it over and over again, glue on the back. It's tacky now. And I want to center this. It's not as wide as the entire project because this is 9 inches from here to here and this is only 8½ inches. But since there's only 1/4 inch gap on either side, I'm just going to line it up on the top and eyeball it. And eyeball it side to side. Okay. Now I don't want to fold the flaps because I'm going to cut this with a craft blade. But I am going to do this because I do want to make sure that does not budge at all. Okay, now I just need to cut this one out, and then you could take scissors and kind of clean up the edges if it's a little rough. This material, because this white has not the pre-washed Kraft-tex, if you do have Cricut Maker, you could use this on your deep cut blade and cut on this with that, but you can't do it on, it's harder with this, but it's harder to do it with the Maker with this because it's been pre-washed, it's bumpy, and it doesn't quite stick well. So I'm going to do this one off camera. Okay, so that is done. Oh, how fun. I love it. So now you can see how when the sides get folded back, that is, oh, it is just starting to come alive. So I have these two. These are the metal backgrounds or frames for the headlights. And now I need to cut out 2 headlights in white, and I'm going to do that out of the Kraft-tex that I just cut out. Here's one of them. So the windows that I just cut out are just perfect. I'm going to clip those on there and get those cut out. And I'll do that off camera. All right, so I got those 2 cut out. I'm going to glue them into the centers of these and use the fabri-tac again. And you'll notice on these that there is a sort of a smoother side and more of a linen look side. I'm going to put the smooth side up, and that is something to consider, you know, which side you want up when you're doing yours. Okay, so let's bring this back. There and there. Oh, that is so cute. Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. Okay. Thinking one way to measure like where this is located here is to take a piece of scrap paper, and I am just going to lay it in the corner right here and mark like that. I just flipped it over and traced that, and now I can put it here and see where to put the other light. Okay, now I'm going to use the little turn signal this and cut out 2 of those in the saffron color to be little blinkers right there. Okay, and again, we will do that off camera. And I just realized that I have a 3/4 inch hole punch, and it works on Kraft-tex, so I just use that instead of having to hand cut the turn signals. So let's get the first one of those on there. Now I could do the same thing. If I wanted to, I could take this and put it right up in this corner here. I know you can't see the circle, but I can. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Okay, now we have an emblem that we're going to put right in the center here. And it's going to be similar to this, and then it's going to have the gray outside ring and white in the middle. And then we're going to put a flower or something on the inside. I've been debating about putting a shaker on there. I'm just not sure at this point, but we shall see. I will put everything together and see what the shaker looks like and then go from there. So what I have is, this is the emblem right here. So we need just one now. I need the outer in the gray or slate or whatever, the stone, and then this in white. And I was thinking this in pink and maybe that in yellow. I think instead of putting the emblem on first, I am going, and I do have my pieces cut out, I think I'm going to put my vinyl behind the window pieces here. And so I measured the opening and drew a line here at 3.5 inches in, and I know this is 9 inches wide, so I cut my vinyl like 8 7/8 just to make sure it's a little short, and then 3.5 inches deep, so I would know where to glue. And I could see I did not cut a straight line, or I didn't draw a straight line, so let's correct that. Okay, my vinyl was cut crooked, so now I know the purpose of this line is so I know where to apply my glue. I'm going to put some parchment paper under here, and maybe something heavy on either end here to hold it down. Some bottles maybe. Let's see if that'll work. So I tested different glues, different adhesives with different, with the vinyls to see which ones would work. So this is Mod Podge. Did not work at all. Has a nice glossy thing there, but this did not stay. This is Gem Tack. That really held well. This is Fabri-tac. Didn't work. And this is Better Ultimate Adhesive. So the contenders are Better Ultimate Adhesive and the Gem Tack. And I think this will be easier for me to spread over a large distance, so I'm going to do that. And so I'm going to spread it all over here and then apply the vinyl, and I'm going to let it set overnight. Again, this is Gem Tack, and it's by Beacon. It's a permanent glue. I want to get plenty, but I also want to not, I don't want to have it squish around the window to the front. So what I'm going to do is wipe it up with a damp cloth. And the reason I want to spread it and not just leave it in squigglies is that from the back or from the inside of this tote, I don't want to have the appearance of the squiggly lines. I want to have a smooth look. So I want to see if I got enough on here. I really should have cleaned that nozzle. Okay, let's see if that's enough. Nope. Okay, I'm going to take this lid off and really go to town here. Get this placed on there. I'm going to line it up with the very top edge because that's the most important edge to me. And then I'm going to give it a good burnish. Then I'm going to wipe up the excess before it dries like that. Turn that over. This is why I had the parchment paper under there. I'm going to turn it over and wipe up all of this before it sets. I'm washing my windshields. Okay, now I'm going to turn this back over. Let's hold this up, make sure it's clean. Turn that over. Get a little wipe there. Okay. And now I'm just going to lay some things here because I want this to be flat as it dries. And I am going to just leave that alone. So here it is. It is so adorable. Look at that windshield. Isn't that cute? Now for the emblem, you cut out one of the dark gray, one of the white, then whatever color flower you want, and whatever color center you want. And I decided to use these colors because they are Kraft-tex, and I'm going to glue it all down. That is so adorable. Oh my gosh. So I can do one of two things. I do want to seal this, and I'm thinking again of using the Duraclear Ultra Matte. I think a couple coats to seal it, and that way as it gets smudgy, I can, you know, wipe it clean. But I think I might as well go ahead and assemble this because I don't want to like put Duraclear and you have a hard time gluing it together. So all I did when I cut these open, I cut on the fold lines, but I see that there are some places where I might have to make this just a little bit of a wider cut, you know, just so it folds well. So what I'm going to do first is give this really a good score. And just as a reminder, these the front fender is going to stick out. The bumper there, I mean, is going to stick out on purpose. You can tell it's going to fold up well if whenever you do this, that these pieces are not sticking out over the fold. Now I can see this one needs to be trimmed a little bit. This is great for working with large projects. So this is the Ergo Bone Folder. Okay, we've got it. So now when we bring the sides up, you can see they're going to fold in like this and glue to each other. But I need this little flap to be on the inside. So I think what I will do, that works well, just to test this out, I'm going to clip my sides together. Make sure it's all stable and looks right. You can see I have the back folded forward. I'm actually going to put this one behind in both cases so that you don't have this gappy look there. So I might as well go ahead and do that now so that I don't forget. I want it this way. And for mine, most of the time I think this is going to be sitting on a shelf, and so for me, I don't really need to do another van image back here. It's totally up to you if you do that. It would also be really cute to take this green around the sides and around the back and make this the back of the van with more design. That would be just adorable. But even having this little bit of vinyl here makes it a little weaker in structure, and so I'd rather have the stability that I have like this. I love it so far. My gosh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this flap down on the inside, glue it, and stick it up onto the piece that's in there. So fold that down, so I can show you on video. Fold it down, and I'm going to glue right there and push it up against that side. So I'm glad I got my sides. I'm going to do this, and that way I can push down on it from the inside. I'm just pushing down. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I got these facing the right way. And I know I'm bending this, but it can't be helped. One thing I could do would be to put like a coaster or something under here to lift that little bumper piece up off the counter. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to fold that flat down, glue it, and push it up. Okay, now I just have to do the sides. So, if you remember, that little flap is already glued to this, so it'll hold the box together pretty well. So all you do is cover this with the glue, and then fold that together. Now I need to be kind of careful here. And squish that together. And I'm going to push the sides together like this. And same thing on this one. And push those sides together. You don't have to have a handle on this, but you know, seeing as it is a tote, I want a handle, but I also want one that is going to be able to collapse down the inside. I don't want one that is going to be stiff and sticking out the top. So I thought because of that, I should go with ribbon. And I am going to put 2 holes on each of the short ends and weave ribbon through there. Oh, so cute. Okay, I'm letting this set for a minute. Okay, so I have a little template I made. It's 4 inches wide, like my spine, and I measured 5/8 of an inch down and an inch in and an inch in, and I'm just sort of centering it on there. I punched a hole in the paper, and I decided to use grommets because they have a little slightly bigger hole opening. Now I'm using this, which is the crocodile, and it's not going to make a hole big enough because this is the size of my grommet. The difference between a grommet and an eyelet, is usually, it's one piece, and it usually has a smaller opening diameter. A grommet is a 2-piece. It's actually a washer and an eyelet. This is the eyelet, and this is the washer. And so if you look very closely, you can see the one on the right has a slightly higher center, and that is the eyelet. So this has to fit through that hole. So one thing you could do would be to trace the inside of that to know how big to go. Let's see if that works here, because before I just kind of kept playing and cutting, seeing where I would go. Let's see if that helps. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take the larger of the hole punches here. I'm going to punch the center like that. And then I'm just going to go around and widen that hole. I'm just going to widen the hole by going around it again. Like that. And you just keep playing till I get the smallest hole that this will actually fit through. Almost. Okay, let's see if that would fit through. Almost. I see where I need to go though. Perfect. Almost. Yay! Okay, so that one fits through. Now you take the one that's the longer neck, and that goes through the center. Now you have a couple other pieces that go to your set, or it helps you to assemble them. Let me get those out here. You've got this, which is your anvil, and I'm looking for the setter. So all you do is set this down. You're going to flip this over so that this is on the anvil like that. And then you lay that setter on there and hammer it. A little difficult because this is in the way, but all I need to do, again, is hit that. You can't see it very well. And done. And isn't that beautiful? It only took like, what, 4 hits with that. So all I need to do is the other 3 holes, and I'll come back. Alright, so I have all of those in there. Just remember that the pretty side, the one that has the longer center, is going to be facing you or facing the outside. So what I decided to do was go with this really pretty lime green organza ribbon and some of this satin ribbon, and I cut 2 of each, 38 inches long, and I'm going to put them together and thread them from the inside like that, and then from the inside on this side as well. I'm just going to hang them out the bag and do that with the other set. Now I'm just going to pull it back a little bit, and I'm going to tie these together outside of the bag. So now when they're pulled tight, it would look like this on the side, and I think that's just going to be really cute. And I'll just shorten the ribbons as needed. Okay, so now I have two handles like this when I need them, and when I don't, I could just tuck them right inside here. Now let's look at the outside. This will be the last thing, and I just want to trim these up just a little bit and give them a little bit of angle here, and I'm doing them at different lengths on purpose. So make sure you look at all the links down below at all my Kraft-tex videos, and thank you so much for watching, everyone. I've been dreaming of this ever since, what, May or so, and I'm so happy to finally be able to do it. And I will give you links down below to how to get the PDF file to make the all of these images on the front.